Hey, Robert here. This is a do-it-yourself tutorial on a 2004 Dodge Durango. In particular, this is a 5.7 liter V8 Hemi, Dodge Magnum. I'm not recording on my usual phone. I'm in a camera, and Larry's in Santa Cruz since he starts school there. Oh, he goes to school there now. So here we are. I'm using my phone, as you can see. Testing it out. Well, yeah. So I got a new laptop, so I'll be start editing soon. I know I'm falling behind on that. And yeah, so first off, what we're gonna start off with, after you buy all your supplies, which is oil, your oil filter, and what you kind of also need is a assortment of wrenches, socket wrenches in particular. I suggest using a 1/2 drive, since you can get a lot more leverage and power out of it rather than compared to I believe it's a 3/4. Double check. Yeah, 1/2 ratchet compared to a 3/8 ratchet. You can get more torque out of that, and I believe it uses a 19mm bolt, but we'll find out when we get down there. So that's stuff you're gonna need, and also an oil pan to catch the oil. And yeah, so first off is what we're gonna do is go ahead and secure the car by putting cinder blocks in the back of the car so it prevents the car from rolling forward. Make sure the e-brakes engage and the car is in park and the engine is cool enough for you to touch the oil so you don't burn yourself and whatnot. Alright, so you can jack up the car. You can fit underneath, but I'm perfectly fine. I can kind of barely fit in, but I have long enough reach to the oil pan. And oops, sorry about that. If you like what I said earlier about using one half ratchet, you can use it if you have a long enough tool to reach from the bottom end of it. But since I don't have an adapter. My 3/4 ratchet can fit enough in here so I can reach it. For this particular bolt that I have, I'm using a 14mm socket. I could use a 9/16, but which I prefer since this is an American car and I don't have a 9/16. It's somewhere missing, so I'm using a 14, which will do. Just pray to God that nothing happens to the bolt. That's what you want to kind of be careful of, is stripping your bolt when you're removing this bolt. Stripping it when removing and tightening it. So when we remove the bolt, we're going to inspect the bolt, see if it's, if there's anything, if it needs to, after wear and tear of, being tightened and loose and whatnot, if it's stripped, you may consider it being replaced. And yeah, and while we're looking at the bolt, you can go ahead and remove the old washer and put in a new washer in, and yeah, so sorry about this unnecessary stuff, but I need to get my tool back. Good thing for the med. You can buy this at AutoZone, Amazon, or whatever. It's a extended magnet tool. Saves your life. You can drop a bolt anywhere in the engine bay. Perfect. And reach tools and stuff like that. So fix my glasses. Alright. Since people kind of complain about rushing I'm kind of in a rush right now. I'm not gonna rush the oil change for this car, but okay. This particular DIY, I'm gonna go through all the steps. So once we get it secure, go ahead and loosen this bolt. And make sure that it's not too hot. for you to handle. Before I remove any more, I'm gonna adjust my oil pan to where I need it to be. Kinda aim and stuff like that before I actually drop the bolt and whatnot. I don't spill it everywhere. So here goes. Awesome. Just right in. So take note on the oil that you have, considering how dark it is and stuff like that. Kind of self-reminder of, good thing you're doing this and it's worth it. If you cherish and love this, vehicle of yours, this is one of the best things to keep it going and make it last, almost forever. So we got this draining right now, so we're gonna let it drain until it starts, draining a little bit, and till almost barely any oil comes out at all. As you can see, we have the oil pan. Once the oil's getting to the point where it's no longer a jet stream, it will hit this little bar here where I'm pointing to, and it will drip down just like that. That's perfectly normal. I think that's designed by Dodge themselves for when doing an oil change. So yeah, so it's easier and drips down rather than like splashing all over the place. But still, you want to put the oil pan underneath so you don't doesn't spill back on the other side, just in case. Alright, if you haven't done so, go ahead and remove your oil fill plug or your oil cap. Let's look at here. I see. Very tight, let's see, comes off, put off to the side. And yeah, that's if you haven't removed it yet. Okay, once it's completely drained, go ahead and put a new washer on your bolt. If your bolt's okay, unless it's considered being replaced, go ahead and hand tighten it and tighten your bolt as so until it's good enough. So I already tightened it on mine. And I'm gonna go ahead and move to the oil filter, which is right located in front of this front. I think it's a front cross member. I'm not really sure about that. Go ahead and move your oil pan, adjusting so, since the oil filter is directly underneath that little beam, expect it to fall front and back of it and off to the side. So it's gonna get a little bit messy, and once you have it, go ahead and loosen the old one. And so just for making it less dirty and making yourself clean, is just loosen it to enough where it actually starts leaking down the oil filter. Kind of spilled a little bit, but enough so to where it's like very minimal drip, and then go ahead and remove it. And the way we're going to remove it is after fully loosening it from here. We're going to bring it down here. It's going to be a little bit tight squeeze, but you can actually manage to pull it out right from here where my direction is going. And once you're going to remove that out and it's ready, clean it off, and then we're going to prepare to put a new oil filter in place. Alright, so what we have here is the new oil filter. After your oil filter drains, go ahead and remove it. It's going to spill a little bit more. And when removing it, make sure you keep it up from the top. Make sure you keep it up, still facing up. Because if you move it any other way, you can spit oil out. So once you move it out, go to your oil pan. Go ahead and just pour what's remaining left in it, and go ahead and put in the new box or dispose of it properly on however you guys get rid of your oil filters. I don't even know how to recycle mine. Just throw mine away. I hope there's like a way you can actually recycle these. But yeah, I had a Fram. I believe it's a TG. It's either Tough Guard or extreme mile, or it'd be extreme mile or a Fram. If it's a Fram, it'd be PH 17. If it's a Tough Guard, it'd be TG 17 or whatever. If it's a 17 and followed by, it's a Fram filter. That's what I used to have, but I'm gonna try this Bosch filter. This was like about $12. Tax was like 13. I noticed that inside of it, can't really see it, but you can see like the holes inside. They're pretty bigger compared to accessing the filter compared to the actual fan filter. And its installation is just the same as all filters. What I'm using is 530 Pennzoil motor oil. It's ultra class synthetic. I'm using Valvoline full synthetic 530, even on my BMW. But I'm gonna try this out, see how it is. I really don't know what's the difference between the brands and stuff like that. Kind of depends on your choice and your budget and whatnot. But I do like a little bit of oil and go ahead and lubricate the ring just for a moment. It's lubricated, and I also lubricate the inner grooves inside. And what I always like to do is fill the oil filter up with a little bit of oil to help the circulation go through. And just simply pour the oil in and kind of make it switch around so the filter actually absorbs it and stuff like that. So yeah. Huh?
How often does a car need an oil change?
Every 3,000 miles or 3 months, whichever comes first. It's standard.
Oh, yeah,
Unless it's, for example, for the BMW, it'd be 5,000 miles. Or whenever the machine tells you to.
Stop.
And that was the love of my life, folks. She has a nice car, by the way. I'll be also making videos for her car. So, simply, how it removes and installs simply through here. Oops. Slides right in. And screws in place. I know that these type of filters, what I love about the Fram is that they have the grip on the end. And this one doesn't. So it's going to be a B to remove after, for the next oil change, but it's whatever, So I'm going to try this out. You want to get it hand tight. You don't want to use a tool to tighten it. You just want to get it hand tight. The only time you actually use a tool is to actually remove it when doing an oil change. So in this particular, probably next time I'll use a tool if I have trouble removing it. So that's pretty much in there. And what I want you to do is after you put that in, double check your bolt, see if it's good. And after that, go ahead and start pouring oil in. Alright, so I already add oil in here. What you want to do is add using a funnel cone or whatever to fill it in. And yeah, once it's filled in, go ahead and tighten it and go ahead and give it a start. And when giving it a start, make sure to record how many miles your car have, so you can then plan for your next oil change, which I probably said earlier, which is 3,000 miles, just a regular time you should change your oil, and it depends on wherever you are and your preferences and stuff like that. Should be every 3,000 miles or every 3 months, whichever comes first. When starting up your car, go ahead and get out and check for leaks if there are any bottoms. If there's any leaks, you should find out where they are. Make sure your bolts are tight, and make sure this cap is on before starting the car. And when the car is starting and you see no leaks, go ahead and get back inside and check if there's any oil fill lights or anything like that. And yep, and if everything goes well, then you done the do-yourself installation of a do-yourself oil change correctly, and that's about it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Any questions or comments, give me a message. I'll try to reply to them, depending on my busy schedule. So yeah, thank you.